audio is set to alerts only. Only important instructions will be announced.
Xin chào. Hello. My name is Pendleton Farm, and it's the first episode. I do that, and then I tell myself, hey, you are not gonna remember anything to talk about. You're gonna sit there in silence. You're gonna... Honestly, I don't know. In all honesty, I'm not sure what I'm speaking right now. Usually when I do this kind of recording, I tell myself that this is the equivalent of a video journal. I usually tend to sit there and just rambling on and on, end to end, about whatever the fuck is happening to my life. The equivalent of trauma dumping to a camera. And then I tell myself, simultaneously I want to tell myself, I want to be famous. I want to be big so everyone can hear my story. And so I usually do this from a first person perspective, doing it for me. But the background of it is that I'm doing it technically for a third person perspective, which is for future writers out there who I hire to make this a TV show. You know what? The vast chances that this is not going to be a show. I'm not going to make it. Alright? So let's try something different, shall we? Let's flip the dynamic. I'm going to do this recording explicitly for a third person perspective, explicitly for an audience. But in truth, the implicit understanding is that this is no one's gonna watch this. I mean it. No one's gonna watch this. Like, there's nothing inherently entertaining about a guy just sitting driving and just, I don't know, say about whatever, I guess. There's nothing inherently entertaining about it, right? So in that sense, but I mean, Sam so did it, I guess. Okay, sure, he's also very roided up too. I also knew him before he got roided up, which is a very funny story. We'll get to that sometime. But yeah. My thinking is that eventually this will become breadcrumbs for me in the future when I turn 40. I hope I'm okay then. I hope I'm okay. But yeah. So let's start with YouTube, shall we? Do you ever... How do I phrase this better? Did you ever just Mixed through your old hard drive, mixed with all of your old homeworks and old essays and pornographies that you haven't seen for the past 20 years, and you suddenly discovered a cassette tape, a mixtape that your younger self made for reasons unknown. It could be to send to a chick, it could be because he liked it, you don't know. But the very fact of the matter is that the mixtape is there. You start listening to it, and immediately that feeling of intense nostalgia that hits you like a brick, that hits you like a truck on an icy highway. It hits you to your face of how you were 22 years ago. And in a more somber sense, how that version of you no longer exists. I have that. It's called YouTube Music. Here's the backstory. Google Play Music was a thing. It's the equivalent of Google Plus, but somehow more cool. Think about that. It was the attempt of a major corporation at being hip and cool and being in the music business. Well, it shut it in the end. They switched it to YouTube Music because they figured that who the fuck cares about Google Play? I'm watching e-girls on YouTube. I might as well want to listen to music on the same platform for some weird bloody reason. Ego next to Tame Impala. Ego, Tame Impala. Ego, Tame Impala. Anyway, one of the pioneering features of Google Play Music, however, is that you could upload your own MP3 files. You could upload, if I remember correctly, up to 10,000 files, and it was synced across every single platform out there as long as it's connected to the internet. I was a kid back then, and I had my first smartphone. It was a Samsung Galaxy Young. So I uploaded every single illegal music file I've ever downloaded in my life, and I uploaded it to that server, Google Play Music. Google Play Music transitioned to YouTube Music. That entire library got transferred over. I haven't done anything to that. I didn't know that that even existed. I frankly did not know the existence of this music library. I just turned 24, and I spent 2 hours transcribing the actual MP3 songs into the actual song titles in Spotify. I'm trying to transcribe them to make a Spotify playlist. There was a song in there, More, Ooh La La, but I can't remember the name of the band anymore. It was an indie band from Minnesota. This song no longer exists anywhere but YouTube. No Spotify. The band defuncted years ago. There's no trace of this song on Apple Music, on Spotify, on Deezer. If your song's not on fucking Deezer, I can't believe Deezer's a thing. Anyway, but yeah. I took a listen to the song, and well, honestly, it's a mid song. It's a 6 out of 10. I'm a 6 out of 10. That's just shack, alright? But yeah, that song no longer exists. I dive into it further, and turns out that song was in a commercial for fruit-flavored milk in Vietnam. And I can't believe that's still a thing in Vietnam. I loved it. But anyway, that song was a commercial in Vietnam, and that was the highest the band ever got. They even made a response video about the song placement in the commercial. In 2017, an indie band from Minnesota got a song placed on a commercial halfway across the globe in Vietnam. 10 years later, there's almost no trace of that. There's almost no trace of the band, which disbanded years ago, of course. The YouTube channel literally got like 1,000 subscribers. The songs themselves aren't even available for streaming. And I felt something. I felt a strange emotion. I still couldn't put a pin to it to this day. It's just intense nostalgia and frankly dread for something that no longer exists. For something that is so close, and I mean it, so close to being lost media. I myself forgot about that too. And only after I dig through the equivalent of a digital attic. I can't pronounce that word, dear me. Only did I rediscover what the song was. I thought about myself back then. I thought about how the version of me when I was 15 years old, he's broken, he's sad, he's absolutely miserable with no social life whatsoever, who don't even know how to make friends, who got confined, who frankly got assaulted. I can barely remember that kid. I could barely remember that version of myself, and that version of myself no longer exists. And I don't know. And it made me think about the nature of these recordings themselves. The nature that I simultaneously, I guess in a sense, doing these recordings are my way of trying desperately to be remembered, I guess. Because, I don't know, deep down I'm afraid that I'll be forgotten. If I look at it at a higher philosophical point, then I recently discovered that the reason I tend to depersonalize is out of vengeance. That if someone did me wrong, for example, someone crossed me, I would roll back to the TV show And the general line of thinking is, you cross me, I'm going to make it big. I'm going to film myself. I'm going to make a TV show out of it. And you're gonna see, in 20 years, you're gonna regret crossing me. Recently, my friend Anthony made an observation. They won't remember. And in honesty, I won't remember either. In freshman year, there was a guy named Andy. Second semester, he has a buddy who has a house in, I can't remember what the area's name is. The point is that it's off campus and he was throwing a party. He was a freshman, so it's that. He invited everyone, specifically excluding me. I'm not going to delve into the who's at fault here. The fact is that he excluded me, specifically. That night, I went on a hyperdrive. My mind went on hyperdrive with the TV show, and I keep thinking to myself, I'm gonna make it big. I am going to make it big. So in 30 years, you're going to see the TV show and you're going to regret crossing the Great Pendleton Farm. Because he turned out to be great and famous and whatever. The point is that in therapy, I can't remember his name. I struggled, genuinely struggled for about 3 seconds to remember what his name was. And the point of it all is that I won't remember this. I won't remember you crossing me. And I don't think you will remember crossing me either. In a sense, the imaginary TV show in my mind is it's this form of vengeance, simultaneously as a form of righting great wrongs. That's the word here. Righting great wrongs. And I can't be wronged, I said to myself. I can't possibly be wronged, because who am I? How do you dare wrong me? Think about that. How do you dare wrong me? Ego plays into the equation, of course. The show is my form of refusing to accept the cards I was dealt with. That eventually I'm going to make it big. And those cards will play into my favor. I guess the point of this exercise of me recording myself explicitly to a third person is a form of radical acceptance in itself. Is that You were wrong. And I'm so sorry that you were wrong. But there's nothing that you can do about it. There's sadly nothing that you can do about it. So, yeah. The reason why I'm doing this is to take it, hold it in my hand, kiss it goodbye, and leave it behind. In a sense, I have to leave that 15-year-old child behind. I just kind of have to. I'm grieving for him, of course. At the same time, there's nothing that I could do to change what happened to him. There's nothing I can do. So instead of lying to yourself, that you're doing this for you, but in fact you're doing this out of fame and vengeance. For the next 2 months, I'm going to be explicitly doing it for fame and vengeance. With the implicit understanding and the true meaning of it is for me. The true meaning of it is for me to let go. Radically accepting the hand I was dealt with and just not feel so shitty about it. And with that is chapter 1. T-minus 45 days. 45 episodes. Actually, how many days left until September 1st?
It's 56 days until then.
56, okay. 56 episodes. So the first episode is to set the parameters of this world. In that sense, what do you mean it's a fucking date here? Come on now. Today is 2025, July 11th, the year of our Lord. My name is Penitent Vam Foxton. I am 24 years old. I am living in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm currently driving on the I-74 south, legally east. It's like your government name, you know? You're technically going from fucking north to south, but to the government you're driving west to east. That's kind of funny, actually. Directions are like highways, government names. I don't know. You know what? I don't care if I'm entertaining, all right? Yeah, I'm doing it like explicitly for a third person, but again, there's nothing inherently entertaining about this. no one's gonna watch it, so it might as well be fun about that. Fuck it. I quit my job. Finish that. The parameters were is that I went to Miami University for 4 years. That was the majority of the main show. And then this is counting down to the finale. I quit my job because frankly I was working literally unpaid for 1% equity. And I decided on my birthday is that fuck that. Where has my self-worth gone to? Don't get me wrong, I'm an amazing coder. I can code any pornography website if you just ever gave me any type of pornography, I can make it. Any type of pornography, I can make it. I can build a website for it. I can make money out of it. That's the fucking American dream right there. But yeah, the parameters were is that honestly, in this moment right now, I'm fine. If I have to look into it from a third person perspective, I'm fine. Financially, honestly okay for the next 2 months. Also, my parents are subsidizing because I found out that they're surprisingly wealthy. Sure, they fucked my mental health up, but yeah, they are surprisingly wealthy. I have a nice apartment. I have a dog. I have a big, beautiful TV. So beautiful. Just 4K pornography. You can see every single pixel of that perky titties. Every pixel. You can just dive your eye right straight to it. My friend tried to lick a TV once. Okay, it's not pornography. It was ice cream and he was so high he literally tried to fucking lick a TV. But yeah. Going back though, I have a nice apartment, I have a car, as you can see right now. I'm driving. I have no debts in my name. I mean it, no student debt. I went here because they gave me a full ride. Also, the parameter this was that this is the introduction. I speak like this because I learned English by watching Doctor Who. That's not a fact. No one's gonna watch this, so that's not a fact. The real fact is that I wanted to sound bougie. I wanted to sound different. It's something to stand out. So I decided to actually learn an accent, and I mean it, I actually learned an accent, learning English. And social commentary, it kind of worked. People treat me nicely when they heard the British accent. They generally do. It makes me sound more high class, it makes me sound like I'm not originally from here. It makes me sound more quote-unquote aristocrat. So yeah, a small piece of social commentary. It's like, yeah, I speak like this. I tell the story that I learned English by watching Doctor Who because it's the funniest thing, right? I mean, I tell sorority girls it all the time. I haven't spoken to a sorority girl. But yeah, I tell random people at the bar about that. Which, you know what, might have included sorority girls. Anyway, I tell random people at the bar that I learned English by watching Doctor Who because it's hilarious, don't get me wrong. It's a conversation starter and yeah, jokes and just fall into that. I live my life through lies. I frankly, honestly lie my way through life. I realise that. The backstory of mine, I learned English by watching Doctor Who. That's not a real thing. And it's only a very few a very few close people in my life who know that fact. Said the kid was assaulted. You know what? The true fact is that he never was assaulted. The totality of the things that the perpetrator did, honestly, it feels like a good representation. So I went with a lie. And you know what? Accept it. How about that? It's just semantics. He did assault you. Psychologically. And honestly, very close physically. Just accept it for his sake. So yeah. Well, that's the parameter of the world for the next 56 days. It is 4:40 p.m. I'm driving into Cincinnati. For the next 56 days, I'm going to explicitly talk to a camera, to an audience, to you. And I'm going to try and tell a story. It will be shit, don't get me wrong. It will be shit. And honestly, no one's gonna watch it. Again. That's like the point. If no one's watching, it's safer to look at your audience and just tell all. If there's no one watching, when you look at the camera, it's safer. So in that sense, let's do this, shall we? Alright, I'll see you next time.